That I have young onset Parkinson's disease. They don't get that I can't write or balance things. Despite scans and specialists, they think I'm too young, 36M. They keep telling me to fucking breathe and it'll all be fixed. I swear if one more person tells me to fucking breathe through tremors and falls, I may tell them that they should have been a blowjob. This one I can relate to. I've had weak, unstable, hyperflexible joints since I was a kid. I'm now in my late 20s and have arthritis in a couple joints. My dad has always been a proponent of, you just need to exercise more. I took up pole dancing as a hobby, which obviously I couldn't tell him about, and that didn't fix it. Then I started horseback riding, which, surprise surprise, also didn't fix it. I got myself a Peloton and yep, my knees still fucking hurt, man. That I've literally never done anything that they've accused me of over the years. And now they don't understand why I don't like to be around them. Being the family scapegoat is a pain in the ass. It makes me sad. This is me and my mom. She doesn't do anything wrong. I'm always the bad guy, and my dumpster truck wreck of a brother gets a clean slate after every drunken fight or destroying property. Apparently being the only adult in the family is a control issue that I need to get over. That I love them but don't like them. Edit. Wow, this really blew up. I hope everyone here understands that it is okay to not like your family. Have all the love in the world for them. If they need help, help them. But don't feel obligated to make them part of your life if it doesn't bring you happiness. Won't end well for everyone. This hit home. That the reason I have found success, both personal and financial, in life is because I watched them for years and do the exact opposite. Bad part is that they seem to reward and normalize bad decisions. I do that in my job as a teacher. I had 2 professors in grad school, of all places, who were literally the worst teachers ever. If I'm unsure about a course of action, I ask myself what I think they would do and then do the opposite of that. Hasn't failed yet. That I don't always want to wear my hearing aids. It's exhausting to constantly hear sounds you normally never hear, understand. As someone who is hearing, but struggles with sensory overload, I can empathize with being tired of hearing things. I turned out fine, because of the years and thousands of dollars spent on therapy far away from them. I always say I turned out fine not because of them but in spite of them. Not all of my family do, but some think it's very weird and a bad thing that I'm prioritizing travel and seeing the world while I'm young-ish. Left the US for the first time at 19, I'm 28 now and have been to 44 countries and 38 US states. I've worked my ass off, saved up, then traveled. Have done that 2 times now. Currently working hard again in preparation for my next trip. They all tell me to work now and travel when I'm retired. In the year before COVID, I backpacked Asia, rode a motorcycle through 14 European countries, and lived out of a van in New Zealand. I don't think I'd enjoy those things as much when I'm 65. Enjoy them? You'd be lucky if you can do that at all after grinding your body up working. Travel forever if you can. That I'm not always as quiet and boring as I am when I'm around them. It's just that they're so judgy and hateful of everyone and it makes me uncomfortable. So I don't behave the same around them as I do with my friends, etc. Same. I'm 17 and they complain that I don't talk to them anymore. I stopped talking to them because almost every time I do, they start a huge argument for no reason. So I basically just talk about what I have to talk to them about and in the most monotone voice I can. That I am in fact funny. I have to remind my wife about this every day. That I don't choose to have depression or be anxious. It's not something I can switch off, and telling me, but you don't have anything to worry about, your life is so good, is not going to change it. You're so lucky, you have the bare necessities, give or take. People in Ukraine, they have it tough, the central idea of my dad's recent arguments to convince me that my life is good. That I sometimes don't feel like doing certain hobbies, for example reading, which I absolutely love, for a couple of months. That doesn't mean that I'm becoming dumb or anything, I just want to do other things. And no, I am not obsessed with video games, and I can play a lot for a couple of months, but I'll get bored and go back to my old hobbies. It's a circle of alternating hobbies, and in the end, I spend more or less the same time with each hobby. Now please shut up and let me play Minecraft, or read, or play bass for 5/8 straight. Haha, exactly the same for me. Nice to read that I'm not alone, because most of my friends don't get it either. My desire to be left alone, I love solitude. So do I, and my mom is the exact opposite, needs to be talking to people all day, hates being alone. She can't understand why I like to be alone and always asks me if I'm okay or if I'm too lonely when I spend a day or two by myself. Like I'm good, you don't need to keep asking, you know this, but she can't comprehend it. I'm very happy I have the weekend to myself, it's just peaceful and helps my introverted self recharge after long days of interacting with people during the week. I'm also an only child, so I think that has something to do with it. I'm the only person in my entire family that is. My mom doesn't understand why I'm so different than when I was a child. Why I don't smile so often anymore. Well, I stopped hiding my emotions. I don't know how to tell them that no, it wasn't all sunshine and flowers when I was young, even if they loved me and raised me well. They fucked up things, and it shaped me. Not always in a good way. It's hard growing up when you are allowed to express one emotion and one emotion only: happiness. That having boundaries doesn't mean I don't care or love you. They are there for a reason because of how I was treated growing up, but I still want you in my life despite everything. Boundaries are not walls, they are bridges for you to maintain a relationship with me in a way that allows us to respect each other. I don't know who said this, but it's on the wall at my therapist's office. Boundaries are the distance at which I can love you and myself simultaneously. That I'm bad with calling them, but that doesn't mean I don't love them to death. I just don't enjoy talking on the phone. My mom complained to me that I never call her. I told her that phones do work both ways, since she never called me herself before. We still don't phone much. Why I had to leave the house because I was being abused by my wife. They don't understand that men can be in abusive relationships where the woman is the perpetrator. We found out in early November that our son, early 20s, experienced physical abuse from his ex-girlfriend. We encouraged him to start therapy. He did. What would have made things easier for you? We want to be the support he needs. That I prefer solitude. They just don't understand why I don't want to talk to them all the time, why I don't want to be around them all the time, etc. It has nothing to do with them most of the time, it's just that I like my own solitude. I like being able to be by myself, do whatever I want, when I want. It's all about peace. I want my environment to be as drama-free, as quiet or loud as I want. You add more people into that, and that peace is disturbed. Doesn't help that I think I have processing issues. Too much stimuli at once tends to make me exceptionally anxious. Fuck. This is me to a T. My family are all loud, boisterous people who enjoy drinking. They're not alcoholics or anything, they're just happy drinkers, and partying. Family gatherings are their own special hell, especially since my sister's kids came along. Fortunately, they get that I need me time, in a dark, quiet room from time to time. I'm still working on getting one sister to realize her 70 decibels indoor voice is physically painful. I'm not racist, I don't hate gays, I'm not religious, and don't think just because I'm a man I have to get a hard labor job that will ruin my body by the time I'm 35. I'm pretty introverted. I've been called arrogant a few times in the past for declining invitations. I've got self-esteem issues, if anything, and often don't feel worthy of anyone's time, so I push people away before they can reject me. Laughing face. I don't recall writing this comment. That I will one day find someone to be in a steady relationship with, and that I don't need their help with that. Like seriously, stop trying to set me up with literally everyone you know that's about my age. I'll find them when I find them. My sister does this. Every time she does, I just remind her that I don't need a girlfriend cause I have her boyfriend. While this is a joke, I actually do this. Makes her shut up and her BF laugh. That my anxiety doesn't just go away if I calm down. The words calm down at this point cause me more anxiety. Nobody has ever stopped having an anxiety attack because you told them to calm down. Now I'm just pissed off and freaking out. I wish people would understand how massively rude and unhelpful those two words are. The amount of times I've sat family down to tell them ways of helping while I'm having an anxiety episode, but in the end it always comes down to, you just need to calm down. Infuriating. Just infuriating. I've been hospitalized from panic attacks and anxiety attacks, and that's the response I always get every time. Like if it was that easy, I'd have saved myself the trip to the ER and the heart problems. I'm not just naturally miserable, I'm depressed. My mom had a local doctor examine me when I was younger because I was so lazy. Nope, just undiagnosed depression. I'm not a game addict. I get bored of it sometimes, and the only reason why they say I am because I'm on my PC most of the time and they only see me playing games, but I'm actually typing a story the majority of the time. They destroyed my PC because of this. When I am home, they only saw me on my PC Bekwase, that's all I had at home. They took away my job, prevented me from going to work, and thought that it'd teach me a lesson. It didn't. I bought an Xbox from a friend when they destroyed my PC.